Was it for retailers in 2006? And what role did internet shopping play in this year's Christmas business? Dr. Audrey Gusky has been paying close attention to this Christmas shopping season. She's a professor of marketing at Duquesne University School of Business and a frequent and wonderful guest on this show. Welcome back,
Thank you, John.
Audrey.
Good morning. Always great to be here.
Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year to you.
You know, I could have pulled the tape. We had you on the show maybe a couple months ago in which I asked you about how the season was going to be.
Yes.
And you predicted 5%, maybe a little better, you thought. 5%, I think, was the average that people thought. And you said maybe 6%.
Yes.
Well, how did you do?
Well, I think I fared pretty decent. You know, it's interesting looking at the investment group talking about their predictions and predictions that I had made for the retail season. I've been studying Christmas sales for 20 years now, and pretty much this year I felt it was going to be a little bit stronger. So I went with 5.5%, and basically that's about where it hit. The verdict isn't in quite yet because you've got gift cards that haven't totally been redeemed, and a lot of the sales aren't there, you know, totally through. And so, but a lot of the numbers that are coming through are showing it's about 5%, some a little bit more, some a little bit less.
You get the sense when you watch the national news that it was kind of not as good as the retailers wanted, but isn't 5% pretty decent?
Yeah, you know, I find that very interesting because it's almost like retailers are just so gluttonous and they want so many more sales than they actually got. And if you look at, as you said, 5%, 5 to 6% is very decent. That's what we've had the past couple of years. Last year was 6%, and they were claiming that it was a wonderful holiday shopping season. It was very merry for retailers. And this year it's slightly under that. And so, you know, it's just sort of a wand that they wave and the magic that they suggest. And I think it was pretty decent. You have to look at, too, the pie was getting bigger, but there were more players, more pieces in the pie. So maybe all the stores didn't increase their sales like they had, but yet overall sales were very, very hearty.
I take it, if we talk winners and losers, and I want to get a little specific, but first, a big winner, internet sales?
Internet sales was huge, the huge winner. 26% it went up by. So you're looking at 26% increase over last year, and last year was significant. So every year it just gets significantly bigger. You're looking at about 3 or 4% of all sales being internet sales, about $22 billion. Very, very strong. Amazon.com had a fabulous year. And so online shopping, a lot of people went for the convenience, the ease, you know, a lot of free shipping. And so I think that was one of the key
What about
things.
some of the retail stores? We hear that some, like Walmart, may not have done that well.
Right. Walmart, because they're the biggest player in the market, they did not do well. And I think that tends to mirror and reflect a lot of the holiday shopping. That's surprising. Target did well, Kohl's did well, those types of stores did extremely well. If you look at the department stores like Macys, they did not fare well. But
Macys is part of that federated chain, and of course they took over all these stores across America, including Kaufmann's here in Pittsburgh. Did that strategy work?
Well, once again, the verdict is still out on this one, but basically a lot of shoppers, particularly in Chicago with the Marshall Fields, were very, very upset, and they're still protesting, and they're wearing pins and signs. You know, I want my Marshall Fields back. What's interesting is when Macys took over, or when Federated was trying to use the cookie cutter name, all the same advertising, all the same merchandising across the country, it's not what people wanted. We in Pittsburgh loved our Kaufmann's and miss it. It was a traditional family-owned store. It brought merchandise and a feel that it was Pittsburgh in our hometown, and Macys is not going to be able to do that. We have Boscovs who came into the picture, which is a good thing, but overall Macys is hurting. But John, if you look at it, you know, department stores have become a dinosaur over the past couple of years. People have so many other options, the online shopping, the discounters, etc. And so I think because of that, department stores have been hurting, will continue to hurt, and Macys, the fact that they're just using, they're trying to say, we are the department store of the nation, and that's really not the message people want to hear. It's not the voice of the customer.
When you look at some of the new entries in the Pittsburgh area, Boscovs was one of them.
Yes.
Do we know yet how well they did?
We don't quite know how Boscovs did, but I would predict they did pretty well. Once again, a family-owned, smaller type of department store based in, you know, the tri-state area.
Lots of sales.
Lots of sales and lots of friendliness and good merchandise, and they were the traditional department store. They have everything. You can buy electronics, you can buy clothing. So once again, they brought back the old face, and particularly in the Pittsburgh area, we have a lot of traditional older shoppers who like shopping in one place and getting everything and feeling like they're in a Kaufmann's or Gimbel's or Horn's again. That's where they're going, is the Boscovs.
Audrey, we're in the prediction business on this New Year's Eve, so let me just ask you, when you look at the retail market scene the year ahead, what do you see coming down the pike, particularly here in Pittsburgh?
Well, if you look overall, the stock market being very strong, I think that's a good indicator that I think the year 2007 is going to be pretty hearty, pretty hefty, pretty merry for all of the retailers. Downtown picture, well, that still we're struggling in the downtown area. Having lost Lord & Taylor's and Kaufman's becoming the Macys, I think downtown retailers will continue to struggle, and that's very unfortunate. We still need more housing, we need more life, we need more energy, we need more venues to bring people in. Overall, in the greater Pittsburgh, western Pennsylvania area, I think it's going to be pretty good. It's going to be a pretty good season. If you look at what happened in 2006, Christmas shopping, back to school shopping, all of that being strong, indications, you know, consumer confidence is up, employment rates are up, and I think you add all that together and people are going to continue to spend money, and I think the retail picture and the growth in the Pittsburgh area across the board is going to be pretty good.
And of course there are the promises of new housing downtown.
Right.
That ought to boost, you would think, that would make some possibilities there for the retailers.
Exactly, and there has been new housing, there's going to continue to be it, and so I think that's a good sign. You've got a lot of young people, a lot of energy wanting to come into the downtown region, and if you look at other cities, other metropolitan areas similar to Pittsburgh, they have been able to do that, Cleveland and Cincinnati, and I think it's just our time now in order to do that. With the casinos coming in too, I think that's also going to add some more money and some more energy, and I think overall the retail picture is going to be very good this year. I'm looking forward to it.
Well, we are too, and we wish you a Happy New Year as always, Audrey. Thank you. We'll have you back many times in this year ahead. We'll be back with an important program.